So welcome back, it's Dr. Dead. Apparently, well, you see the chair and the space, and I wouldn't say it's slightly different, but I'm experimenting a little bit. I saw Candyman 2021 probably, the day of the release. I have some mixed feelings about it, both good and bad, we're going to talk about. Two, you guys are going to see a shift in visuals, dialogue, how I discuss things. We're working on my interpersonal skills, whatever you want to call them. And a couple things. One, I'm a big fan of the original Candyman movie. So when I came into Candyman 2021, I can tell you that I had extremely high expectations. What was funny is when I originally watched the 92 version, it was me and my siblings playing around. I remember yelling, Candyman, 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 Candyman. And no, I'm not saying that shit a fifth time. You'd yell Candyman 4 times. Candyman, 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 Candyman. And never say it the 5th time. Wait, no, don't come at me. That does not count. I did not say your name 5 times.
Candyman. She turned out the lights.
That's some bullshit. So now that I've escaped narrow death, I have to talk about my experience with Candyman. Now, the original script that I wrote, external hard drive was broken. I always break things, and this is a new one. So, firstly, Candyman came out back in '92. Although a supernatural, gothic-based movie based on Clive Barker's short story, The Forbidden, Candyman was originally murdered for dating and being in love with a wealthy Caucasian man's daughter. Cabrini Green is the main place the story is told back in '92. Story being told in the projects and the fear of his presence in name was all in the original film. You say Candyman's name 5 times and you're dead. I don't want to go into too much detail about the original Candyman, as I may do a movie review on it, but I do think Bernard Rose did an excellent job directing and creating the original. The 2021 version is a simple rehash and retelling of the original movie. Only this time there's some spins and twists on it. The film, directed by Nia DaCosta, who's also directed Little Woods and is working on the movie The Marvels, has a lot of work to cut out for herself, especially to match the 92 version. So the main cast, as well as Jordan Peele, and the writers decided a different approach. Still plays Cabrini Green, the main protagonist, Anthony McCoy, is an artist who gets no respect. He's constantly told he's worthless and incapable of truly delivering to the masses. Distraught, Anthony lives with his girlfriend, Brianna Cartwright, who he lives with and is also trying to become discovered, as well as in the art world. Over time, Anthony finds a man in a laundromat named Billy Burke. Billy Burke tells him the story of Candyman, which is, again, the classic Hook story.
He hires some men to hunt Robitaille down and told him to get creative. Chase him through here in the middle of the day. He collapses from exhaustion right near where the old tower in Chestnut used to be.
The difference from previous versions in this universe is Candyman was falsely accused of giving a razor blade candy to a young white girl. And this starts the lore in this world, this universe. I don't know what they're trying to do with it. Summon him 5 times as usual, like the good old days. Candyman comes out and kills you. Anthony's inspired by this, and he creates an exhibit, only to find out people who mention his name end up dying. When confronting Burke again, because I'm used to Candyman being the antagonist, and apparently he's not in this lore. So the main villain of this movie, he mentions the original Tony Todd Candyman, the best Candyman that exists, originated in 1899, 1977. I truly like it. The idea that there's a swarm of bees that all take up the mantle, and the concept of like who Candyman actually is, right? After being stung by a bee, Anthony slowly turns on the Candyman himself. And once he realizes Anne-Marie, who played in the original Candyman movie, hid from his true origin, being the original child rescued from a fire. And his mother did this so he'd have a normal, original lifestyle. And Burke's true plan was to make Anthony become the new Candyman. The new legend by being gunned down. And I will say, when Burke sawed off Anthony's hand and the hook, it was kind of nice, because there really wasn't any brutality. A lot of the deaths in the movie was mostly off screen. Although Anthony is not a bad written character and was created as a replacement, in a sense, for Tony Todd, the ending is confusing in a multitude of ways, especially when trying to expand on the universe. Reasons to Kill, I think that's a great idea, especially for future films, and I hope it's expanded on further. However, the police brutality side of it, I don't understand. It just kind of came out of left field. Systematic oppression was barely discussed or stated throughout the movie. It was hinted, but it wasn't really direct. It was mostly subtle. I don't mind Anthony's character being someone that focuses on protecting black people in their communities at all. It was just never discussed or brought up in a passionate manner outside of wowing people from an art perspective. And like, is he doing it because he's Candyman, or is he doing it because it creates something tangible for his art? It's very confusing because it gives off this premise that once you become Candyman, you're not really thinking for yourself, and that's the other reason why I don't really like it conceptually. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I won't really lament on it further, but it just the lack of visual violence is what upsets me the most. Most of this movie, just you don't see any gruesome deaths or anything overly violent, which again, that's fine. Realistically, that is completely fine. But leaving it for like the last 15-20 minutes, like a Paranormal Activity movie.
Be my victim.
And maybe I do need to rewatch the original Candyman because it just seemed off to me. So it was like 2 minutes of Anthony killing police officers in his Candyman form the minute he was quote unquote summoned by Brianna.
It's time to finish this duel with Reborn, the monster!
I personally take police brutality seriously, and as somebody that's protested, I'm a very charitable person. I don't think social political things should be in movies, especially horror movies. Honestly, police brutality in itself is a serious political and social issue. There's a time and a place, really, and Hollywood's really obsessed with kind of forcing this ideal that we all need to follow, being overly PC. Social justice message. So we have to throw social justice messages randomly at any given time, as long as it caters to an audience. And they don't really care about teaching you anything. It has no depth to it, like something like The Matrix, or even though it was horribly done at the end, even Tenet. There's just no substance to it. It's just, here you go. This is this concept that you might learn some shit from, but it's probably just a cash grab. It was well paced. I just felt like it was completely unnecessary. It didn't seem like it had any place in the movie. You watch Candyman because of Tony Todd. they basically jerk you by showing him in the last 2 seconds before the movie ends, which I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed.
Tell everyone.
Probably like the biggest fucking cock tease that I've seen from a horror movie in a long time. If they continue to make Candyman movies as a whole, they need to put Tony Todd on the forefront, because Anthony McCoy isn't bad, but using Tony Todd to show the reins of the hive mind concept, I just think visually they did a horrible job at showing it. Like, you came here to see Tony Todd. You didn't come here to see Anthony McCoy. You wanted to see Candyman. Anyway, I will be doing possibly another review on the 92 Candyman movie. If you liked, again, like, subscribe, comment, share, and I will be back. We're doing horror everything this month, so check it out.